Long ago, in the city of Detroit, the air was filled with the sounds of clanging metal and whistling steam. This was the home of General Motors, where the smartest engineers worked. Among them was a man named Charles Kettering. He was an inventor who believed that no problem was too big to solve, as long as you had a sharp pencil and a clear mind. Working alongside Charles was a young apprentice named Silas. Silas was hard-working, but today he was having a very difficult time. He was hunched over a workbench, surrounded by gears, springs, and oily rags. He looked tired, and his forehead was wrinkled with worry because his latest project refused to work. Charles walked over to Silas's station. He saw the mess of parts and the young boy's frustrated face. Charles didn't look angry. Instead, he looked curious. He put a steady hand on the boy's shoulder and asked what was wrong. "It's just broken, Mr. Kettering," Silas cried out. "The whole thing is a disaster, and I don't know why." Silas slumped down on a wooden stool. He felt like giving up. To him, the problem was a giant, invisible monster that was impossible to fight. "It won't turn, it won't hum, and it won't start," Silas grumbled. He thought that saying it was broken was enough to describe his trouble, but the machine stayed silent. Charles pulled a small, silver-edged ledger from his vest pocket. He handed it to Silas, along with a pencil. "Silas," Charles said calmly, "if you just say it is broken, you are fighting a ghost. But if you describe exactly what is wrong, the ghost becomes real metal and oil. When you define a problem clearly, you have already done half the work of fixing it." Silas took the ledger, but he didn't know where to start. Charles leaned in closer, pointing to the heart of the machine. "Don't tell me what it isn't doing," Charles whispered. "Tell me exactly what you see when it tries to move. Look at the gears. Look at the pins. Be as specific as a scientist." Silas began to look closely. He watched the smallest gear. He noticed that it didn't just not move. It wobbled 3 times, and then got stuck on a tiny metal lip. He opened the silver ledger and wrote, "The 3rd gear from the left hits the housing pin because the pin is slightly bent to the right." As soon as Silas finished writing the sentence, his eyes lit up. He realized that he didn't need to fix the whole machine. He only needed to straighten one tiny pin. He reached into his toolkit, found a pair of thin pliers, and carefully gripped the bent metal. With a tiny click, the pin moved back into its proper place. Silas turned the crank, and the machine whirred into a perfect rhythmic hum. Charles smiled and patted the boy on the back. "You see, Silas," Charles said, "that is Kidlin's law. It means a problem well stated is a problem half solved. By writing it down clearly, you took the mystery away and found the answer." From Kunan on, Silas never feared a broken machine again. Whenever he felt stuck, he reached for his ledger and began to write. In the busy factories of Detroit, the secret spread. If you want to solve a big problem, start by describing it perfectly. And so, the city of inventors kept moving forward, one well-defined problem at a time.